So I'm going to start by making chicken stock. I already have my washed chicken bones in this pot right here. So first I'm going to go ahead and add the 12 ounces of water, cold water, into the pot. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the near plot in. So it's going to be the 25% carrots, 25% celery, and then the 50% onion. Alright. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the sachet together. String. So basically I'm going to put a pinch of pepper in there and a pinch of thyme. I'm also going to put the bay leaves that it calls for in there, and then also the fresh parsley stem. What I'm going to do is fold that up. Tie it together. Perfect. What I'm going to do is hang that on the side of the pot, that way it gets into the water. Just tie it around the little handle here. There. And then I'm just gonna let this do its thing and simmer for about like 4 hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually. Okay, so now I'm gonna start doing the brown beef stock. Basically, I'm going to take the beef bones, and what I'm gonna do is put the tomato paste, get them ready to caramelize. I already have the oven preheated to 375. So I have a baking pan with parchment paper that I'll put these on. I did wash my hands before this, by the way, and after washing these, since I don't have gloves. So I'm going to do both sides. Tomato paste smells good already. Okay. On there. Definitely going to need to wash off this tube after touching all of this. Okay, there's that. Go ahead and put this stuff in the sink. And I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands. Beef bones. Got the tomato paste ready to caramelize them in the oven. The oven is already on 375, so I'm going to go put these in for about 30 minutes, and I'm going to check them and flip them as need be. So I'll be back with an update. Okay, I just took the beef bones out of the oven. They're nice and brown, so I'll give you a look. They look great. Okay, so I did go ahead and caramelize the mirepoix. So I did the 50% onion, 25 celery, 25 carrot. So I already have that to go. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take the nice caramelized beef bones, carefully put them in the pot. To be honest, a lot of the fat actually came out onto my parchment paper. So I don't really think I need to put water in there. Carefully. Okay, so got those in there nicely. So where did I put the spatula? Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and scrape like what was caramelized off of the beef bones. Basically, I'm gonna bring this pot over here and scrape the goods in there. Like I said, a lot of the fat had came out. I don't know if it's the way I washed them or what, but I do not need to add any water to get all of this out, which is kind of nice. Saves a step in a way. It smells really good. Set this here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and try the 48 ounces of water. I know the recipe in the book and this one's a little different, but granted, I'm not making one that big, so I'm gonna start with this. This is 20 right now. I'm gonna get more distilled water really fast. So I'm going to go ahead and do another 20. So this is going to have me at 40, which actually looks pretty perfect. So instead of doing the 48, I'm going to do 40. And like I said, since this was already wet enough, I didn't add anything in it. But I didn't use a recipe. Like, you could use wine if you wanted. So I'm going to put just a little bit in here. I like cooking with wine, so why not? Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and get the sachet ready. Okay, so I have a bay leaf in here. Sorry, you can't really see. This is what I'm putting together. So I have the bay leaf, the crushed 3 cloves of garlic, half a teaspoon of the peppercorn. Now I'm gonna measure out a half a teaspoon of the thyme. And then I do have some stems of parsley in there as well. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap all of these ingredients up. Tie it. There we go. Once again, I'm gonna put this in and wrap it around the handle. This pot's a little shorter, so it's kind of easier for me here. Okay, and like you said in your video, sure enough, the beef stock is already nice and dark. It smells great already. So I'm gonna go ahead and simmer that for about, let's say 3 hours. I'm just gonna watch it and see what happens. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on. Put it on simmer. Perfect. So it's been about 3 hours and my bone broth is done simmering. It smells amazing. The wine really gave it some depth. Like, it smells incredible. Okay, so now that the bone broth is done simmering, I'm gonna go ahead and take out the bones. Put them over in this bowl. They just look good. Go ahead and untie this as well. Kind of strain that. Awesome. And right here I have an ice bath going on. I have the strainer. So I'm gonna go ahead and strain it carefully. Carrots are still in there too. That works. All right. Let's go ahead and strain that. Okay. There we have the bone broth. So I'm going to keep icing that. And then, like you said, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the freezer for when we use it again. But it smells amazing. Okay, so it's been about 4 hours, and my chicken broth has been cooking, simmering. So I'm going to go ahead and take the sachet off. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the chicken bones out as well. Oops. This smells pretty good too. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and use the ice bath as well. And strain it. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the fridge overnight, and the fat should rise to the top, and I'll be able to scoop it off. This is what it looks like right now. Okay, so now I'm gonna start the bechamel sauce. I'm gonna go ahead and do the first part. So basically, first I'm gonna take the piquet, half an onion. This is a really big onion, by the way, but it is half. I'm gonna take a bay leaf, then puncture it with a clove. Okay, and then I'm gonna take the 16 fluid ounces of milk and put it in this clean pot. I'm just gonna add the piquet in there carefully. I should have probably put that first. There we go. And then I'm gonna let this simmer for about 20 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that on so it can get started. Okay, so now I'm going to start my bechamel sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and take the clarified butter first. Go ahead and put it in this saucepan. Okay. And I'm going to keep that on low simmer for sure. Oh, there's the oven. Okay. So it's already getting warm. So that's on the simmer. Next, I'm going to slowly add the flour in. And this is going to be a slow process to thicken the roux. So I'm going to start with just like a little at each time. It's definitely on low. It's like instantly getting thick. So I'm just kind of cooking the flour flavor out, and I want it to get as brown as possible. Not necessarily brown, but dark. Whoa. Okay, and I add that last little bit. And keep stirring. can see, you can kind of see the color in there. Here, let me put it on. There we go. Grab one thing. Okay. So now that the milk I've been having simmering for about 20 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Take that, I'm gonna turn it off. Stirring this to the side for a moment. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is take the onion piquois out. So let me grab just a bowl to put that in. So I don't have this. So I went ahead and took the onion piquois out. I'm just gonna put that to the side. Put the roux back on the heat. Just wanted to make sure not to burn it. So now it's been going for a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and add the milk into our roux. Keep this on a simmer for right this moment. But we are going to want to bring this to a boil. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding the other ingredients. I do have the white pepper. So I'm going to add just, I like a lot of pepper, but I'm going to add that for now. Okay. And just a dash of nutmeg. I don't want the nutmeg to be too strong, so just a dash. So now I'm going to bring it up to a boil, and what we want is it to get thick. Move this out of the way. Okay, so I've been whisking the roux. I brought it to a boil and then I brought it back down to a simmer because it was getting really hot. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it into a cheese sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and dump the cheese in. To the side. I'm going to whisk this in it. So due to the heat, it should melt and thicken even more super fast. Now it's instantly looking like some cheese sauce. Our roux is. Turn the heat off at this point because it's looking great. It's not lumpy at all. So also I went ahead and pre-buttered this pan as well, just to save some time. So it's already got clarified butter is what I use. And then I have my macaroni noodles, which I already strained. I did leave them al dente. Alright, so that looks done. So I'm going to go ahead and put the cheese sauce into the noodles just to make sure I don't overdo it. So I'm going to start with that much. Mix this. Looks great. Yeah, that's plenty. So I do already have the oven preheated to 350. So I already put the spices in the roux, so I do have that in here. So I'm going to transfer it over into this dish. Sorry if you can't see. Perfect. So now I'm going to go ahead and add the breadcrumbs on top. Give it a little crunch. That looks great. So, and then my own little touch, I'm going to add some ground black pepper. I love pepper on my mac and cheese. Alright, and this is what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that in the oven for about 15 minutes. Okay, so I just took the mac and cheese out of the oven. I baked it for about 15 minutes, and then I like mine browned on the top, so I went ahead and broiled it for about, I'd say like 4 minutes. And this is how it turned out. You can see the black pepper I added, and then the nice brown spots from broiling it. So now I'm going to taste it. That's delicious, and the breadcrumbs, I like the crunch it adds. Now personally, I didn't add any like ham or bacon or anything on top, because when I eat mac and cheese, I just like straight cheese. Like, you can't mess with just the original. Yeah, it tastes delicious and very creamy.